The Modern Man tutorials. Men lead, women follow. There's two types of ways for somebody to follow your lead, right? Which is lead through example, or there's two ways to lead, which is lead through example and through giving commands. The problem is most of you guys don't know how to talk to females. If you don't know how to talk to them, you can't ask them to do anything because you don't know how to talk to them. You don't know how to talk so they can understand, right? I'm ex-military, so in the military, it's very important that when you give a command, it's followed. I've been in situations where I'm not, the highest ranking person in the situation, but I have a plan. I know how to execute the plan, and I gave out some commands, and people followed my lead. That's how you are a leader. Even though I wasn't in the leader rank position in the situation, I had a plan. Nobody else had a plan. The leadership that was there at the moment didn't have a plan. Their plan was to hide behind cover while we were getting shot at. My plan was to move forward and win the situation. So I devised a plan. I executed it, right? Verbal commands at first, of course, let everybody know what the plan is so we can execute it. And it was a rescue mission thing where it's like one of our guys was down, had to go get him, and definitely didn't like the idea. Also, it was our commander, so very important that the top of your leadership doesn't get left out there in the line of fire. So got to get the commander out of there. And I was surprised when I got to the situation that the leadership wasn't, didn't have a plan to go get our leader out of the harm's way. So I just well, this is what we should be doing is, we definitely should be shooting back, not hiding behind, behind safety. We should definitely be shooting back and distracting them by shooting back. So that way one of us, which ended up being me, to go grab our commander and pull his ass out of the, out of the kill zone. Like, it was a little crazy to see that no one, thought of that or wanted to do that. Oh well, of course, I got a lot of praise for doing so, but the point is that, that's the thing about leadership is you lead. A leader does what they say they're gonna do, right? A leader doesn't just give out commands. A leader leads. A leader does. You, if you're gonna tell people to do something, it has to be something you're willing to do. You can't be like, hey guys, shoot at the enemy, and one of y'all go out there and risk the chance of getting shot. No, you gotta be willing to put yourself out there, right? All I asked was, y'all better be shooting while I'm running to go grab the commander. That's all I asked, and I'm not asking for a lot. That's the bare minimum. Y'all got weapons, and there's more of us than there's of them. There was only 2 shooters, and we had two squads, which is what about 2 squads is 8, about 16 men. Yeah, 16 guys with weapons against 2 guys. Why were we not shooting? Anyway, that's besides the point. We're talking about ladies. So anyway, you're not gonna get little notifications like this. We got lovely ladies, responding, replying, liking your stuff, giving you emojis, which is important. They give you emojis, that's a good thing. That means they're receptive to your to your interactions. And TikTok is a great place to obviously practice. And that's, again, it's like you got to practice talking to the ladies. You can't expect them to follow your lead if you can't even speak to them. This is what when we talk about game is not about being 6 feet or 6-pack or six-figure income. That's not what game is. That's a cheat code for the game. If you have all 3 of those things, you can avoid having game. You could be a lame and still get bitches, right, with those 3 things. But that's a cheat code. If you can't do those 3 things, be 6 feet, have 6-figure income, and have a 6-pack, then you need to know game, aka need to know how to speak, how to talk to the ladies, how to get them to be emotional, positively emotional for you. Think about it. Most of the guys out there, that are 6 feet, blah blah blah, tend to be assholes. And the chicks chase them mainly because they're 6 feet and whatnot. But those guys tend to be assholes. And after a while, ladies tend to get tired of constantly being, constantly feeling negative. They want happy feelings, but there's times where they want negative feelings. They want the roller coaster ride of feelings. But if they keep getting negative feelings, well, that's where you come in. You give her positive feelings, and she'll come to you because you're giving her what she wants, which is the positive feelings. But of course, you got to sprinkle in a little bit of negative feelings here and there, because then she'll get bored of that. She'll get tired of constantly having happy feelings. Then she'll want the negative, and ladies are like that. But you gotta remember, it's because it's all emotional. It's emotion. It's not logic. So since it's emotion, it's like they don't want to feel the same thing over and over again for too long because it gets boring, right? Just like being in the same sexual position for too long, doing the same thing sexually for months and years. It's gonna get boring. So you want to switch it up, right? Spice it up. So the same thing with conversation. Same thing with, what you say. What you say in a conversation changes the dynamic. Most of you guys who've seen some of my other videos, seen some situations, especially on TikTok, seen situations where I'm having a conversation with a lady, and of course she's disagreeing with me, arguing with me, about certain things, about whatever the topic was, and then it turns into something sexual, which is typical for me anyway. And they're the ones who usually initiate it. But there are the times where I'll initiate it, just to see what happens. Especially if I already won the disagreement, the argument, right, the debate. Then I'll throw a little flirting and see what happens. And like I said, emotions. Sometimes they can handle it, sometimes they can't. But again, it's the idea that it's like, if you want the ladies to follow you, come to you, you gotta be worth following. And if the shit that comes out of your mouth causes them to want to walk away, that's a you problem. It's not them, it's you. It will always be you. Any guy who's popular with the ladies does not blame the ladies if they're not following him, they're not respecting him. He blames himself for what he's not doing right, what he's not saying right. And that's the thing. That's why you got a lot of these guys out here, which we call them, fuck boys and stuff like that. They're the ones winning. That's why I'm not surprised in the red pill community, a lot of guys are trying to be fuck boys, but they try to disguise it as, I'm just focusing on myself, being a real man, blah blah blah. They're like, no, it ain't. Y'all being fuck boys. That's all. Because y'all know y'all can't make being a good guy work, because y'all suck. Y'all can't make being a decent human being work because you suck at it. That's the thing. Y'all don't know how to leverage being a good guy. Right? See, a bad guy, right, can get things done. Can get whatever the chick wants. A good guy be like, oh nah, can't get you this and that. That'd be wrong to get you this, that, or third. It's not necessary. You don't need it. And we can agree, a chick doesn't need a Birkin bag, right, or an expensive purse. But you think a bad guy is gonna care if she needs it or not? No. A win is a win. If he can, guarantee she'll stay by his side longer and be more loyal to him by buying her the bag, then he'll do it. See, a good guy would try to be all, logical with it. Not understanding that ladies aren't as logical as guys are. So it makes no sense to try to be logical or practical. Like, oh man, this purse is too expensive and it's not, you don't really need it, blah, 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 blah. And I agree that it's not necessary, but I understand that it's not about practicality or anything. It's about the feelings. I remember seeing a TikTok about a chick being mad about a guy not buying her a $2 rose at a dinner, but he paid $400 for the dinner. Like he paid for the dinner, he spent $400, but she was more mad about the $2 rose than she was grateful for the $400 dinner. So so her priorities are different. So again, the flower just represents emotions. The food was practical, right? And well, I mean, $400 for one meal is ridiculous, but that's besides the point. I mean, if you got it, you got it. But it's the fact she didn't even appreciate the usefulness and the substance of food, and right, and the fact that he way overpaid just for them to eat. She didn't appreciate that, but she would have appreciated more the flower. And it's like, okay, gotta keep that in. That's why, when you're a leader and you know how to lead, you understand the people you're leading. You know their strengths and weaknesses. And if you know that a chick will prefer a $2 rose over a $400 dinner, then you won't waste $400 on a dinner. You will spend less money on food and then put it towards the rose. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised you start off like give her a bouquet of roses to, let's say, it cost you like $10 or something, and take her to McDonald's, and she'll be happy regardless. Not saying you should take her to McDonald's. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised that works, because apparently her feeling special because of the rose, feeling loved, feeling appreciated, you know, chivalry ain't dead. It just random thought that popped in my head. The amount of people that open doors for me, woo, and a lot of them tend to be females. Like they'll open it and then they'll hold it and they'll just stand there. I'm like, I'm too far from the door for you to hold it. You don't need to hold it. Like you could just let it go. By the time I get there, I'll be able to open it and myself and whatnot. I mean, I appreciate the gesture. It's just that I noticed that they tend to do it a little too early. It's like, I'm not close enough to you for you to have to hold the door open. But I appreciate the gesture nonetheless. It just feels a little weird since I typically will hold doors for people just because that's the type of person I am. But having people hold doors for me is like, okay, not something I'm used to, but life change and I change, I improve. Obviously, the SAD should always improve. So when you improve little aspects of your life, things change. People treat you differently. And that's the whole thing about manning up, right? Leveling up, improving. You don't have to be 6 feet, 6-figure, 6-pack to get respect, to get chicks to like you. Would it be nice to be those things? Yeah. But it's not necessary. There's tons and tons of guys on this planet for thousands and thousands of years that were able to get chicks without those 3 things. So this whole ridiculousness that you gotta have those 3 things, 666, right? 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 feet. That nonsense in order to get chicks. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. It's not logical, right? So, leading from example, right? A lot of guys, act like assholes, so no surprise if a chick treats you like an asshole, because you act like one, so of course they're going to treat you like one. So if you don't want them treating you like an asshole, stop acting like one. You want them to treat you better, you gotta show them what treating somebody better looks like. So there's that leading by example. Being nice and courteous to other people. Sometimes it's funny that a chick will respect you more and treat you better if she sees how better you treat other people, especially other chicks. They tend to get jealous, right? Again, emotions, feelings, and they'll want to receive that. It's like, oh man, you being extra nice to her. That's bullshit, right? And it's like, well, if you were nicer to me, I would treat you the same way. Because that person over there wasn't being an asshole to me. So that's why she got the special treatment. You want me to be a gentleman? Then you gotta be a lady. Can't be acting disrespectful, ratchet. immature. Most importantly, it's like you're a grown woman. Act like one, right? Act like you have some maturity. Act like you've been with a man before. Most of these ladies haven't been with a man, so they still act like they're a child. They act like they're a teenager instead of acting like a grown woman. And then it's funny, a lot of the chicks, talk about being independent and making money and stuff like that. It's like, and that's great. Not, I'm not against that, but it is weird when it comes time to pitch in or pay for something. Suddenly it's a problem. Suddenly you don't want equality, right? When it comes to paying for something, sometimes you don't want responsibilities. It's like, it's not an adult thing to do, not want responsibilities. Part of being an adult is being responsible. I understand if you don't want to be responsible for somebody else, like you don't want to be responsible for my actions or for what I do, but at least be responsible for your own actions, right? Accountability. So at least be responsible for the things you do. In other words, don't do things to make me look bad, right? If that's all you want to do is do you, all right, do you by yourself. Don't bring me into this, right? Don't ask to be my girlfriend and then act out of pocket. That makes no sense. You were better off by yourself doing all that nonsense. If you're going to be with me, you're going to live up to a standard, my standard. Because again, you're with me, not the other way around. I didn't choose you. You chose me, right? I just allowed you the opportunity to be with me. Sometimes some ladies tend to forget that, and you gotta remind them sometimes that it's like you came to me, not the other way around. So you gotta put in the effort to keep me in your life, because I'm definitely beneficial to you than you are to me. Because you probably just brought the bare minimum, which is all I asked for anyway. I don't ask for too much, so that's why you were able to be in my presence. But because I only asked for the bare minimum, which means 99% of ladies out there can meet that requirement, you're easily replaceable, right? The only way you don't get replaced is if you do your job, so to speak, right? As in, you be nice, right? You be appreciative. You be grateful that you're with me when you could just as easily not be, right? Because you gotta remember, if you're with me, that means somebody else isn't, which means you won, and you should act like a winner instead of acting like a sore loser, right? Sometimes it'd be funny when a chick gets hates the idea of, if I look at another chick that looks different from her, and she gets jealous, and it's like, well, here's the thing, it's like, I'm with you, not her. Keep that in mind. I mean, logically, I'm with you, not her, so you already won, but you want to compare yourself to the other chick, but don't realize when you logically compare, you won. Let's say, my type is, a plus size black chick, all right? But I'm with a skinny white girl, as hypothetical examples, right? Well, I'm with the skinny white chick, right? Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, I'm with the skinny white chick. You won, even though, I wouldn't mind being with the plus size black chick. I'm with you, so be happy that you won. You were able to get into a position that you easily would have went to the other chick, but you got it, right? First come, first serve, right? As they say, especially if you're the first to make me come, right, girl? So you get served, right? So the other chick misses out because you got there first. The thing is that you got to hold on to that position, because if not, clearly there's someone else next in line to get the position. And this holds true for guys as well, but it's it happens more for chicks than guys because guys get better over time. Chicks have a time limit to their leverage on getting the types of guys that they want, or just getting guys in general. Because after a while, even even guys they don't find them attractive anymore. Think about the irony in that. They would like to think that the guys that they didn't care that much for when they were younger, better looking, will probably still want them when they get older. It's like, nope. Even those guys that you didn't want, and eventually, sometime they don't want you either. They wanted you back then. Back then, you didn't want them, right? But the funny thing is, they tend to improve over time. So back then, you didn't want them, but now, when nobody else wants you, you want them, but they already have options, and a lot of times it's better than them, than the chick. But anyway, you got to improve your talking, your ability to speak, the ability to elicit emotions, positive and negative. Um, you know, because that's how you get them to like you, to get along with you. Because for them, it is all about emotions. It's less about you know logic or whatnot. They rather. This is why a lot of guys tend to lie, because it works, right? If it works, it works. So if lying to a chick works, then it works. I don't like the idea. That's why I rather not lie, but to a chick, but at least just um, make imply things. I rather imply stuff, and if they, think that something is something, hypothetical. If I imply that I'm 7 foot tall when I'm not, okay, I implied it. I didn't straight up say it, so I'm not lying. I just implied it. I said something that made it sound like I might be 7 feet tall, but I didn't say I was. So if they get the idea that I'm 7 feet, well, that's on them. So that's the kind of stuff you gotta think about. That what you say does sometimes translate. I've had some miscommunications where I said something and it was taken, negatively, taken the wrong way. The irony that the word cute can be taken positive or negative, that's ironic, consider the fact that it's a neutral, it's supposed to be a neutral term. Like, you can say anything's cute. You can say this hat is cute, right? This puppy's cute. But for some reason, a lot of ladies nowadays, if you use the word cute, it can be offensive, apparently. So that's something, I learned, through TikTok. It's like, okay, some ladies can't handle the word cute. It's too strong a word for them, I guess. For whatever reason. I don't know why they would take it negatively, but okay. Maybe because a lot of guys used it a lot. Maybe in certain negative contexts, I guess. I wouldn't know. Because to me, I just use it in a positive context, so it'd be weird for a chick to have a problem with the word cute when it's supposed to be a good thing. Especially when ladies use the word cute, and they used it for many, many, many years. When I was young, that's what chicks always said. Cute, cute, cute. They always talk about cute guys, right? They talk about, outfits looking cute, hairstyles looking cute. So they always use the word cute a lot. So that's why it'd be weird for, for me, I think it's weird that a chick has a problem with the word cute, but whatever. Shit, I even had a situation where I used the word like. Just like I like you, bang. That was taken out of context. The person acted like I said I want to fuck you. Like, I didn't say that. I said I like you. You have a good personality. You're a good person, so I like you as a person. But it was taken away out of context. But of course, certain things happen. Later on, she was she was like talking in her sleep, and everything was a sex dream, and I just so happened to be in that dream apparently because she kept saying my name. So it's like, okay, I guess she was what we call back in the day fronting, pretending she doesn't like me, but secretly she did. It's like, okay, that explains that situation. That explains the exaggeration of me saying I like you and acting like I said something disrespectful or derogatory. It's like, no, I said I like you. That's a nice thing. I can say that to anybody. I can say that to a guy. Hey, I like you, dude. You're a nice guy. I like you. I can say that. It's not sexual or disrespectful. But she took it the way she took it. Whatever. But that's the thing. A lot of times is literally just how people react or interpret what you say. So that's why it's important to understand how to speak. That's why you got to practice. You know, some words you're gonna realize you shouldn't say. Obviously, we know there's some negative, slurs you shouldn't say. You know, curse words and whatnot. Racist terms you shouldn't say. Obviously, we know those. But there's some stuff in general conversations, especially when you're talking to the ladies, you might not want to use that could cause a problem. For example, you might not want to, you know, make a habit of mentioning other girls' names when you're talking to a chick, because that's not going to bode too well. They typically don't like it when you talk about other chicks. But there are the times where you can take advantage of talking about another chick to get her feeling a certain type of way. But of course, you gotta reassure her that she's better than the other chick, and then that course corrects. But again, practice makes perfect. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what to say, when to say it, step by step. It depends who you're talking to, right? One good thing about TikTok, for example, is the fact you can go to a chick's profile, right? And she'll give you information. She'll put stuff there that, and she'll have videos and stuff like that. You can get a pretty good idea of what kind of person she is, like what kind of sense of humor she has and whatnot. You can take, and you can use that knowledge, that information. It's like, oh, okay, she thinks dad jokes are funny. All right, then let me learn some dad jokes. Or she likes tacos or something, whatever. Like, she likes certain things, and you could bring those things up, especially if you like those things too, right? If she likes anime, then you can make anime references, and if she's truly into animes, she will know those references, and there's where you guys connect. That's where you bond, and that's where you vibe, as they say, right? Through those little details. And then other stuff like music. Sometimes I'll see a video and there'll be like a song on there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my jam right there. And I'll point that out while all the guys are in her comments like, oh my God, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're my dream girl, all that nonsense, right? Which she totally ignores. I point out the fact that I like the music choice because, I fucks with the music. And then I get a reply. I get her attention, right? Because I'm not doing what every other guy is doing,
I don't care if you don't like me. The voice.
So, if it's a lot of times, if you look to the comment section, you see some basic ass shit, heart emojis. She didn't like none of them, and it's been 5 days, almost a week, and she hasn't been liking a lot of this stuff. Right, as an example, and of course she liked a couple things, but not everything. So she's very selective of what she's liking, letting you know that a lot of you guys are not getting her attention, not standing out. But some of us who, said some things that has to do with the audio or making certain references, she actually likes, she fucks with, and she responds. So that's the thing. Getting a like and a response is a double whammy, right? It's what you're looking for, right? Because a like and a response is kind of like a smile and then the hair toss. Like when y'all make eye contact and she smiles and you smile, or you smile and then she smiles back, it's like, oh, that's good. But when she does the hair flip, it's like, oh, that's better. Because then it's called like choosing signals. Now, granted, this is TikTok and whatnot, so this You might consider this not that big of a deal and whatnot, but it does so a like and a reply is not enough. It's you need a couple more stuff, of course. What the person replies with is important, as well as if you ever interact with them more than once. So you don't want just one interaction and be like, oh, damn, she likes me. Like, no, one interaction is not enough. You got her attention. You got to reply. Right? You got to like, you got to reply. Right? Especially if she uses emojis, even better. Like, all right, cool. You're working with something, and go from there. Especially chicks nowadays, they love emojis, so that's why you gotta learn, you know, how to speak with emojis, because they tend to like that, and that's why it's good when they give you emojis back, because that's how they like to talk, and since that's how they like to talk, if they're using emojis to talk to you, there's a high probability they like you. That's why they're using emojis. And that'd be the end of the video.